A warm welcome to the fast, the furious and the downright curious. Today's a training video for bike racing without mercy. But, as a quick FYI, I did make it into central London on Sunday to take in the marathon. And there I failed miserably to spot Ella out of the crowd. Now, it is actually quite difficult to spot someone because the runners come at you like a relentless wave of multicoloured fish in wave after wave after wave, and you can get a little punch drunk over time. Now, Ella went on to do really well and raised a whole ton of money for charity, so well done. In previous years, I've managed to get down in time to see some of the elite athletes, and indeed last year, I was privileged enough to see Mo Farah literally sprinting through. But always, I like to hang around and see, shall we say, some of the less gifted athletes, because these are the ones that are having fun, but also suffering a little bit in the name of charity, certainly something I can identify with. In today's training video, I decide to increase the intensity in search of progression and gains in power, but end up biting off a little more than I can chew. I'm just warming up in London, and I'm taking a bit of a mental reconciliation of some of the lessons learned from my second race for Zwift on YouTube. Now, I'm very happy with the impact of the 2 sessions of power surge training I completed on Tuesday and Thursday last week, because I believe that they both helped contribute to me being able to hang out in the Premier Breakaway group for the full duration of the race. And the race was 6 kilometres longer than the previous weeks. However, I do also think there's a lot more I can do to economise on my effort in the first half of the race, and also more generally throughout. And I say this because some of the people who beat me were putting out 3.1 watts per kilogram over the 34.5 kilometres, and I put out 4.1. And that tells me I should be able to hold back a bit more energy in order to deploy it later on when it counts. Now, I also need to build on my base fitness because my heart rate's too high for the full duration of the race. And later on this week, I've got a session plan that I hope will contribute to that. Clearly, my sprint needs a lot of work. Moving on. And I also learned the value of taking a day off the bike before a race, and that stacking up back-to-back races and training sessions is not convivial to good racing. Blindingly obvious, many of you will comment. Now, you'll see from the screen that for today's training session, Tuesday, I'm coming back to the well of power surge training. But today, I'm looking for some progression, aka wattage gains. So, last Thursday, for 30 minutes, I undertook 2 minutes at 265 watts and 30 seconds at 350 watts, repeating 12 times. Today, I'm looking to up the power for 2 minutes at 274 watts and 30 seconds at 260 watts, again repeating 12 times. Now, it's actually quite easy to manipulate Zwift to achieve this, and all you have to do is go into your settings and manually change your FTP. So I pushed mine up from 290 to 300. And obligingly, Zwift will then recalibrate the power needed for all of your training programs. Now, it may not sound like very much, 10 extra watts, but I think it's going to really impact on the recovery, and obviously it's going to make the surges that little bit harder. So let's see how I go. Just coming up to the first marker to start the first 2 minutes at 275 watts, and we're on the mount. ERG mode is on, and it's going to take care of the gearing and resistance needed to keep me at the 275 watts. Lovely old ERG. Just coming up to the first of the markers, where I'll be going to 360 watts. Try to take nice deep breaths to stay controlled. Back to 275. Second marker, and the jokes are running thin. Back to 275. Coming up for a third at 360 watts. Very hard. Mentally, I'm struggling today. $275. Fourth at 360. $275. Fifth at 360. $275. I'm finding this beyond tough, exceptionally tough. This is recovery. Coming up for the sixth set at 360. $275, number 7. Fighting a losing battle here. Having to work really hard to get ERG to keep moving. Seven at 360. Coming any second. Okay, I've got to be vigilant for ERG here. And dig in. I'm really struggling. This is the 8th recovery set. At 275. Coming up for the 8th set at 360. Today, the bike won. It was just a bit too tough, but I shall return to conquer this one. So obviously, I'm personally quite disappointed that I didn't complete the full 30 minutes and 12 repetitions. But I am reasonably happy with the 20 minutes and 8 repetitions because the intensity was very high. And I know that it will count towards my racecraft in the future. And also, as I see on Zwift Companion, I burned a super handy 466 calories in the process. I'm going to give it another go at some point in the future, the not too distant future. And look forward to the next training session. Welcome to Thursday morning on Bike Racing Without Mercy. Today's a training day, and as I alluded to on Tuesday, I'm going to be focused on building my endurance. So, from Zwift's training programs, I've selected a session that will see me complete 3 sets of 15 minutes at 300 watts. But in between, I get a lovely 8 minutes recovery at 150 watts. So I think this is going to be very challenging, but hopefully just about manageable. Now I'm just about to complete the quite long warm-up of 15 minutes and about to go into the first segment. Now I've seen I've made a small mistake in that I've miscalculated my FTP manually in the Zwift settings. And as a result, I now need to complete each set at 305 watts. It's only 5 watts extra, but I know from Tuesday's session, it's going to be a challenge. So here we are, through the first of the markers, letting ERG mode undertake the work. Now I often find at the start of these kind of time trial efforts that the mind is telling me I can't do it. But I know that as I get a bit into the session, the legs will become a bit more willing and the mind will be encouraged by that. I'll report back shortly. Now I'm just over halfway in the first set and it's super hard. Heart rate's high, 175. I've miscalculated here. I'm going to press on. 6:45. Six minutes to go. One and a half minutes to go in the first set. (181) heart rate, too high. (30 seconds).
Oh, we're down to 150. That's going to be way too hard for me for 2 more sets. I'm going to see if I can reduce the power requirements in game. Now my true FTP, based on my most recent test, is 287 to 290 watts. But I've manually adjusted it in Zwift settings to 300 in order to recalibrate all of the training sessions and the power required. So what I've just done is go into the manual settings and bring it back down to 290, i.e. closer to my actual FTP. And as a result, Zwift has obligingly recalibrated my 15-minute interval down from 305 watts to 295 watts. But I'm certainly not complacent that it's going to be easy. My focus is now, in this lovely little recovery period, bringing down the heart rate, which got to about 181 at its peak. Now on Tuesday's session, where I was undertaking some power surge training and looking for some progression, I decided to pull the ripcord after 20 minutes rather than go on to complete the full 30 minutes. Basically in the week, I'm always prepared to bail out of an overly intense training session because, like most of you, I've got to go to work. I'm not prepared to give anything less than 100% at work. And if I'd gone on, maybe I could have squeezed out another 9th or 10th set, but I think it may have left me overly tired to be effective at work. Remember, for us chancers, amateur athletes, call us what you want, there's always another training session, there's always another race, it doesn't really matter greatly. Now I'm just coming up to the second interval at 15 minutes, and because of the huge exertion and magnificent grimacing required to complete the first segment at 305 watts, I'm actually feeling a little bit intimidated by this second interval of 15 minutes, now just down at 295 watts. Just 10 seconds away from the start of the second interval, about to go under the arch anytime now. I'll let ERG do all the work to get me back up to 295. Obviously quite a big grind as I transition from 145 to 295. I'm going to try and focus on the breathing here, and hopefully some nice good quality pedal strokes. I'll report back shortly. Okay, I'm 5 minutes in to the second interval of 15 minutes, and the going's hard. Heart rate 178. Legs are hurting. Gonna focus on the breathing again. Halfway into the second, and suffering is very much on the agenda this Thursday. minutes to go. Three minutes to go. Very hard. Lots of lactic acid in the legs. All kinds of lactic acid. Two minutes. One minute. Thirty seconds. You can see the final marker. One 50, 1.53. Super hard. I'm not going to do the third set. They're warm down now. Oh. Now I know that the mind often gives up before the body, so I've decided I'm going to carry on and have a little experiment and see how far I can get into the third set of 15 minutes at 295 watts. I also realised that these could be the kilometres that make the difference between me winning a Cat A race on Zwift and coming in second, third or fourth. So settle back and enjoy the grimacing. Coming up to the third marker, heart rate has recovered nicely into the 150 to 155 territory, but it'll soon be coming up. 5 seconds to go. I'll let ERG take on the strain. Pulse sense of security right now. The recovery helps me stay very fresh these first 1 to 2 minutes. I've set myself an initial target of halfway in, trying to break things down into small, hopefully slightly more manageable objectives. Body's starting to take the strain now. Deep breaths. Nice pedal stroke. 2.5 minutes. Coming up for 5 minutes in. It's tough. Six minutes in. Very hard. Coming up for 7.5. Okay, I got 10 minutes in and it was emotional. Believe it or not, I really enjoyed that because it was very exhilarating and I've got a lovely little endorphin rush going on. And that's the great thing about exercise, certainly for me. It can make you feel really good and set you up for an excellent day. Now I also learned that sometimes my mind gives up before my body. So I'm super glad that I decided to experiment by going as deep as I could into the third set of 15 minutes. And I'm actually quite happy with the 10 minutes I achieved because overall I've had a really intense workout and I think I've banked some decent kilometers that's going to help me in my racing. So I've got just time for a quick protein shake before work. So time for some almond milk. Not too much, because the blueberries, they've got loads of water in them. I prefer organic, but I use whatever I can get hold of in Tesco. Natural way, I prefer vanilla. And then mix up in the NutriBullet. Now I'm a bit of a heathen because I'm going to gulp it down straight out of the NutriBullet vessel. Have a good day. As ever, none of this is advice. You do whatever it is you want to do, but whoever you are and whatever you do, please remember to live, thrive and subscribe.